All right, let's put this thing on the internet. So there are also these things called Firebase tools. That's the Firebase CLI. I talked about it a little bit, which is the ability, like, there's the Firebase CLI, which allows you to manage a whole bunch of stuff like that we've been doing in the dashboard, like locally on your system. And then there's Firebase admin, which gives you some of the dashboard power, right? The dashboard didn't believe in any security rules. We do whatever we want in there. It's fine. So these tools allow you to do it, programmatically as well. So I have it installed, but otherwise, if you don't, you can do npm install-g Firebase tools, and then Firebase admin, and those will get you the Firebase tools is the CLI binary. Firebase admin is just a library that you can use. But I have those installed already. If you have not done it before, you do a Firebase login, which I'm already logged in. It's actually pretty neat. It'll open up your browser and let you like OAuth in and then send you back to the command line, which I didn't know was a thing you could do. So that's neat. And then if you're in a project, this is just a create React app project. I do Firebase init. That used to be fire emoji. I don't know why they changed it. I think they should put it back, but it used to be fire emoji. And you can see we've got this useful text-based interface of what things we're using. Now, you're like, I'm already using Firestore. What this will do is it'll actually copy those rules from the console into like a firestore.rules.json. And so now you can pull them down and like edit them on your machine and push them back up. There's actually also a tool for testing, running unit tests against them, right? So you can pull that down, and there's like an emulator that will like emulate a Firebase database and let you like set the security rules, write unit tests based on what you can and can't do in your Firebase account, which is really cool. Functions, which are those cloud functions, we'll turn that on. Hosting and storage. Storage is the same thing. It's just going to pull down the rules. There's not like you're not going to like store stuff on your computer. It's just going to pull down those rules so you can edit them and you can push them back up. So you can check them into version control and do whatever you want in that case. So I'm going to pull down all four. I'm not going to pull down the real-time database. Which project? I think I'm on this one now. What should we use for the rules? Cool. That seems fine. Firebase store.rules. The indexes, like we didn't do really any like super advanced queries, but Firebase will they index by default every property on an object. But there's also things called compound indexes, where if you're like trying to like do like multiple like they're not joins, but if you think about it, joins, like you can create compound indexes that Firebase will like make those fast. So this will let you change those. For your cloud functions, you want to use JavaScript or TypeScript. I like TypeScript, but we're going to do JavaScript. Do you want ESLint to catch probable bugs? At the whatever the Firebase Summit thing is, like they're really into both ESLint and TypeScript. Cool. And so I wrote these two things. Shall I install the dependencies now? Go for it. That's going to install all the dependencies for us. It's going to create a folder for our Firebase functions. It's going to set it up so we can do a Firebase deploy and deploy to an HTTPS server that we can just put it on the internet really easily. A whole bunch of some pretty cool stuff like that. You can see it wrote the functions.package.json. That's what's installing right now because these are server-side functions. They are separate from the package.json from our client-side code. So that'll be a separate folder that will make the Git tool in Visual Studio Code very angry with me because those node modules are not currently in gitignore, which is really great. This is the one we had to pay attention to. It's trying to guess what the public directory is, what we're going to use the server page out of. You're like, yeah, public. No. If we remember create React app, when we do npm build, makes a build directory. And the build directory is what we want to push up to the internet. So we'll say build. This one is also important. Configure as a single page app, which means rewrite all URLs to index to HTML. We want that, right? That's what lets React Router do its work. Everything goes indexed.html. React Router does its thing and figures out the rest for us. So we want a yes. Don't just blindly hit enter to that one. Don't overwrite it. We're going to build anyway. Storage rules can go there. And just before Visual Studio Code gets angry with me, we'll say cool. So let's see, we got some new stuff in here. We've got this new functions directory. We've got firebase.json, which is just some basic settings. If you messed up and did public, you can just change it here. It's fine. Indexes, we're not really doing anything with. The rules, remember those? They're down on my file system now. Same with the storage.rules. They are also down here as well. Maybe I didn't save them last time. But everything is down on my system now, and other stuff like that, which is what project it is, so on and so forth. So what we'll do is let's go to package.json, and we're going to make one new script, which is deploy, which will be a npm run build, and then if that is successful, then we'll do a Firebase deploy. Firebase deploy will deploy your app, your cloud functions, and your rules. Right? You can actually do a dash only and do some subset of those if you want. But in this case, we're going to treat a deploy as launch all the ships. Do an npm run deploy. So that will first call create React apps build, which will go ahead and webpack all the things and do my production build. And when that is successful, then we will call Firebase deploy, and it will push that up to the cloud, which is also just somebody else's computer. While that happens, I'm going to go over to the dashboard here. We can take a look at hosting. It's telling us about all the stuff we just did. That's very cool. You can, if you don't like whatever it is, .firebaseapp.com, you can set up your own custom domain. What is going to be really cool when this shows up is every deploy that you have done will be listed here. And you can go back, if you botch it, you can hit rollback, and you can switch back to a previous deploy really easily. You can also get some amount of very base level usage stats. But the ability, you can see here's the current one. It's not deployed yet, but it will be. I can actually, as I deploy over and over and over again, go back to previous versions. So this works really great as a continuous deployment thing as well. You can hook it up into Travis CI or something like that. So hey, I pushed the master, run it and build it. And if it doesn't work, we can just roll back to a previous version, which is super cool. So yeah, here's the current version. You can see who did it. So you can also figure out, where I work, we're very much into who's to blame for a given thing. Right, because once you can figure out who to blame, you can move fast it, right? Here, I am to blame for this deploy. All right, cool. So that is the long and short of hosting. You basically install the Firebase tools. You do Firebase deploy. You're on the internet. Don't believe me? Here it is. And this one, theoretically, you could all just log into and be hot messes with, and run up my API keys. But I think without access to the code in this one, I'm a little safer. But this is it in production on the internet under HTTPS.